Hey going guys, David Tensen here for the 21 Days of Blessing, and we are on day 9. You know, in a recent survey in the UK, children up to the age of 10 were asked what they'd like to be when they grow up. What do you think a lot of them said? Majority of them said, I'd like to be rich and famous. My name's David Tensen from LeaderHeart. This is day 9 of the 21 Days of Blessing, and as always, you are free to share this on Facebook. This is also available on YouTube too. If you go to my channel on YouTube, you can find it there. But it's great to have you here, and we do appreciate all the support and feedback. Do let us know from whereabouts in the world you are joining us from, especially if you haven't done so before. Today's reading comes from John chapter 3, verses 22 to 36. I want to begin by reading from verses 27 to 30. And in these verses we see John the Baptist's disciples question his identity and destiny after several others leave John to follow Jesus. Listen to his response. I'm going to read this from the ESV. A person cannot receive even one thing unless it is given to him from heaven. You yourself bear witness that I said, I am not the Christ. And we talked about that, I think, in week 2. But I have been sent before him. John knew who he wasn't, and he knew who Jesus was, and his identity was found in the middle. The one who has the bride is the bridegroom. The friend of the bridegroom, speaking of himself, who stands and hears him, rejoices greatly at the bridegroom's voice. Therefore, this joy of mine is now complete. He must increase, but I must decrease. He must increase, but I must decrease. He must step forward, I must pull back. Fame for fame's sake is both an endless and a dead-end road at the same time. For many of us, we desire to be known and favored, and so we can seek out and pay a dear price for fame by mistake, when all along the only thing that really will satisfy us is the discovery of who we are in heaven's eyes. Position, title, followers, fame all pale into insignificance compared with knowing the delight the Father has in us. So I bless you today as a favored child of God, a child of the Most High God, in being entirely seated and rested and planted and convinced of the favor of God over you. I bless you today with knowing that God determines the measure of favor that comes on each man's work, and no one receives favor unless God bestows it. May you find delight in his favor and his kind of favor, his unique favor over you, allowing yourself to be satisfied with the measure of favor that he bestows upon you. And I pray too, beloved, that like John the Baptist, you find joy and delight in being called Jesus' friend. As standing close in hearing the voice of the bridegroom as he speaks of his beloved bride. As he declares his life and his love for her, may you be caught up in that ecstasy. May you hear those words. May you know that you are part of the bride. And I bless you today with being favored as one who hears that close voice of intimacy and devotion from Jesus, our Messiah. Amen. Shalom, and thank you for joining us again. This is day 9. We're nearly at halfway. Before you go, I want to again let you know of the Introduction to Integrated Inner Healing course that we are starting next week. So if you've liked these blessings, if you'd like to know more about inner healing and the heart journey and a whole lot of stuff, I've put the link in the description of this video, and you can also go to davidtensen.com to find out more information. It'd be great to have you on board there. And please do check that out. Shalom. Thanks again for sharing, tagging your friends, and being part of the 21 Days of Blessing. See you tomorrow.